Well, good morning, folks, and welcome back. Cumberland Outdoorsman here, out in the woods, back with yet another one of my 22 series videos. About a week ago, I was on my lunch hour. It was a Friday, and I had a little extra time on my hands, so I stopped into a pawn shop, a little bitty place right down the road from where I work. It's named Cowboy Dan's, actually. If you're interested, you can look that up. But I went in there initially looking for some tools because of my line of work, which is automotive repair, and quite often I find good deals on tools at places like that, those little pawn shops, you know. But I was looking at their guns in their gun rack, and there was one little rifle sitting there that really kind of caught my eye. You know, it got my attention. So I asked to look at it, and the lady that worked there was real friendly, really nice. She handed me the little gun, and I instantly recognized it. And it's really kind of what I've been looking for to replace what I had lost years ago. You know, I used to own one years ago. Now, I bought one at a gun show that was pretty much the same thing, but still not quite exactly what I was looking for. And I've got it here. Now, you've seen this little rifle before in some of my previous videos. It's a Marlin Model 60, which originally was a Glenfield Marlin Model 60. But someone had put a Marlin Model 60 barrel, a shorter barrel on here. This is a 19-inch, I believe, with the shorter magazine tube. Good shooting little gun, just fabulous, actually. And since it was a great little gun, I knew that it had a lot of potential. So I did some repairs on it, and I showed you in a previous video how to effect those repairs in case you own a Glenfield or a Marlin Model 60 like this, and you're having problems with it feeding or ejecting or whatever, and what to look for and how to repair it step by step. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and check that out in case you have a problem. Anyway, I decided to upgrade this gun because I wanted that last shot bolt hold open design that they had, and as you can see, right here on the side, there's that little bolt release lever that once you fire the last shell, you know, you can look in there and visually inspect the breech to make sure there are no rounds left. And then you can close the bolt, and you know that the gun's empty. That's good from a safety aspect, and also when you get done shooting, when you're down to the last round and the last shell has been expected, you're not going to pull the trigger on an empty chamber, thereby dry firing the gun. So that's a great feature. I mean, that really worked out well, and I really like that. So from a safety aspect and from a mechanical aspect, that's that's really what you need. The older guns didn't have that, and this is the one that I bought. This one does not have that, by the way, but it's still in great condition. This is the one I picked up at the pawn shop last week, and it's an original Glenfield Model 60 with the full-length 22-inch barrel and the full-length magazine tube here, so you can put 18 rounds in here. You know, not that that's real important when you're out hunting, but it's just nice to know that it's an original length gun, just like it was intended to be by Marlin. This one here has the JM stamped barrel, as you can see right here. And for those of you that don't know, JM stands for Jim Marlin. That's his initials there. And just like that barrel there, it was made in North Haven, Connecticut. Marlin later moved to Kentucky, Mayfield, Kentucky, and started making their rifles there. And then after that, they moved to Huntsville, Alabama when Remington owned them. And then that kind of went by the wayside, and now Ruger owns Marlin. So I don't know if Ruger is going to be making any more Marlin Model 60s. It's hard to say. It's kind of up in the air right now because the Marlin Model 60 was a very stiff competitor for the Ruger 1022. The 10/22 is a fine gun. It's a little bit more expensive than the Marlin Model 60 was, but you know, out of the box, generally speaking, the Marlin Model 60 shot more accurately. Now the Ruger can be improved on more easily. You know, there's all kinds of accessories available for the 10/22. There's more accurate barrels that you can install, trigger mechanisms, just different types of stocks. I mean, there's a whole market out there just for the 10/22, and that attests to their popularity as well. But the last time I checked, the Ruger 10/22 has sold just over 6 million units, I believe, but the Marlin Model 60 has sold over 11 million. But like I say, you know, I haven't seen a new one on the rack for quite a while, so I don't know if the Marlin Model 60 is done. That doesn't mean you can't go out and find one like I did, you know, because they're still very much available at gun shows, flea markets, pawn shops, places like that. You can pick one up. Just make sure you get a good one, like I did here. You know, this one here has not a single speck of rust on it. If you look at the muzzle crown, it's still like brand new. It's got a few minor blemishes on the stock, like right here, you know, there's where the finish is rubbed off. Just a few little places here. I'm going to go ahead and refinish the stock anyway and try to get it back, you know, looking really good. And it has a little bit of the powder coating worn off right here on the receiver, I guess from where they put the scope on there. But anyway, I'm really tickled with this gun. I know it's going to be a great shooter. I looked up the date of manufacture, and for those of you that don't know how to do that, I can tell you real quickly. If you own a Marlin or a Glenfield Model 60, the serial number is right here on the side of the receiver, and if there's not a letter there, if it's just numbers, then what you do is you take 100 and you subtract the first two numbers in the serial number, and that'll give you your year of manufacture. So for example, if the first two numbers are 25, well, you'll subtract 25 from 100 and you get 75, which means that the gun was made in 1975. This one here has a 21, so this gun here was produced in 1979, which is just perfect because that's when my first 22 was made, my Remington Model 581 that I just absolutely love. It was made in February of 1979. So, you know, it just kind of works out that way. Now this little Marlin here has a 19 on the first two numbers of the serial number stamped into the receiver. So that would make this one here a 1981. You know, you subtract 19 from 100 and you get 81. So that's just a little bit of information for those of you that don't know and would like to find out how to get the date of manufacture for your particular rifle. But we're going to get out here and do a little shooting. I'm going to be shooting this one with open sights, and like I said, the sights on this one are fully adjustable on the rear, and I'll show you how to do that correctly, by the way. And I'm going to be trying some different ammunition. I bought some of this Winchester PowerPoint. And since I'm sitting here now, let's just make sure the gun's unloaded. See how many rounds this thing actually holds. These older guns have got a little bit better quality parts inside of them than the newer versions do. You know, when you look inside, you can see that the side plates are made out of thicker metal. The springs are a little bit heavier. The trigger guard here on these older Marlins and Glenfields is made out of metal instead of plastic like the newer ones were. It's just overall, they were just a higher quality gun, and that can be said about most products. You know, the first versions were usually made of better quality. Okay, we're going to put in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, 17. There you can see It's fully loaded tubular magazine with 17 in the tube. And the way to correctly load this gun, make sure the safety is on. Okay, right now the bolt is open, which you should always have the bolt open anytime you load the magazine, especially in a tubular magazine, because you got your hands up here close to the muzzle, you know. Anyway, you pull out on the charging handle, release the bolt, and if you've already got one in the chamber, which you shouldn't have, then you've got 18 rounds. But what you do is you pull back, release, and now the gun is loaded, ready to fire. So let's get out here and do a little shooting, and we'll see just how reliable and how accurate this old rifle can be. Well folks, that gun is pretty well on. I'm still just slightly to the right with open sights there. They didn't all group in there because of the shooter error on my part. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just tap this rear sight to the left a little bit. You know, you want to go in the direction that you want your bullets to go when you adjust the rear sight. So, you know, if the gun's shooting to the right, you want to move it to the left. If it's shooting to the left, you want to move the rear sight to the right. And don't get up here with a hammer, with a steel hammer, and start beating on your gun. You need something with a soft head like this one here. This one has a lead head on this side and nylon on the other. So I'm just going to gently tap it like that, and I felt it move ever so slightly. So remember that. Don't get out here and beat on your gun with a steel hammer, because you'll dent the barrel. You can't even tell I even touched that gun there. So anyway, I'm going to shoot at these cans out here first. I've got some mini mags I want to try out, and I've got 5 cans there. So I'm going to load up 5 bullets. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to try the PowerPoints. I haven't tried these yet. We'll see how well they shoot. Safety's on. Gun's not loaded yet. Now when I pull this back one more time, the gun will be loaded. So let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and charge it. Safety's still on. I'm going to zoom in on those cans there so you can watch them blow up. If I hit them, that is. Alright, here we go. I'm going to go from left to right. That was a miss. That was a hit. That was a hit. Okay. Well, those are loud. Got 2 more there. Mosquitoes out here interfering with our video. Alright, let's see if we can smack those last 2 there. Well, before it gets too dark, let me go ahead and shoot those targets down there because they're kind of in a shaded area. That's my 50-yard range. Get these loaded up. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but so far I have not had any issues in terms of loading or ejection. The little gun's shooting pretty well. Right now there's no need to do anything to it mechanically because it's operating quite well. I do have the parts to upgrade it, just like I did my other one here. And I'll probably go ahead and do that here before too long. And you never know, I might just leave it in original condition. Alright, I've got a couple of cans down there, and I've got an old Gatorade bottle that's got a target on it, one of those stick-on targets off to the left. And then I've got the steel targets. I've got 2 swinging targets, and then I've got 2 squirrels and a bunny rabbit, just like always. So let me go ahead and zoom in on that, and we'll commence the shooting. Alright, here I am zooming in, and now I can start shooting. I think you can see those cans there on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and try to pop those. Those are right at 50 yards. Actually, they're about 47 yards from here. I'm going to try that orange one first. With open sights here. I hit it, but I think I just nicked it. Alright, let me try that swinging target. Smacked that one pretty solid. That was fun. Let me try that again. Okay, and the one off to the right. Alright, let me try that bunny rabbit on the left there. Okay, there's a squirrel up there on the left and one on the right. Let me go ahead and pop those if I can. That sounded like a solid hit. Good hit. Swing target again. And I see a little bit of orange left on that other swinging target. Okay, I forgot about that Gatorade bottle that's sitting there with the red target sitting on it, so let me go ahead and see if I can hit it. This is with the Winchester PowerPoint. Well, folks, how much fun is that? I mean, that's a great little rifle. I'm really glad I got it. Works flawlessly. I mean, everything I'm feeding it, it's shooting just fine. Just perfect. I want to try out some of these standard velocity 22s and some of these mini mags as well. But I think I'm going to try out this old gun since I've got it out. And I've got some targets down there with a wood pile as a backstop. These are also water-filled cans. Let me zoom in on that. Right, here we go. Gun is loaded. Safety's off. Left to right. All too easy. That one can there is facing me with the bottom end up. I'm going to see if I can't smack that from here. Bottom end's looking right at me. Let's see if we can't hit that from here. Well, that was just about as much fun as the other rifle. I just love these little marlins. This one here is wearing a Bushnell Custom 22. This is a vintage scope. And it has a bullet drop compensator. I've got it set on 50 yards right now. And you can dial in the yardage, you know, if you're going to shoot long distance. So you don't have to hold over. You just aim straight at the target and you should be right on the money because it's calibrated for 22 long rifle high velocity ammo. This has always been a winning combination for me right here. I kind of like the short barrel on this because it's really compact, you know, and if you're out in some thick brush, the shorter gun is actually easier to carry around. It's a little bit lighter. This one here is more like a bigger rifle because of the longer barrel, you know. Just to me it just feels and looks bigger even though the stock is identical. But that few inches extra of barrel and magazine there sure makes a difference in the way it feels in your hand, folks. So I'm going to load up some standard velocity ammo and we'll see how well the gun cycles that. So stay tuned. Well folks, I'm out here this evening testing out this little rifle I just got. I decided to go ahead and mount a scope on it because I really want to test the accuracy potential of this particular gun. You know, if it doesn't pass my test, then I probably wouldn't keep it. But so far, I've got a target set up down there at 40 yards, and I just shot 5 shots of this CCI standard velocity into about the size of a nickel. So the gun's showing a lot of promise. I'm going to try some of this SK semi-auto. Here's the bullet. Really nice looking bullet. Looks like it's precision made. So let's see how precise these bullets really are in this gun. Alright, I've got some targets down there at 40 yards, like I say, and there are these little bitty dots like this. Now the last 5 I shot a little bit high and slightly to the right, so I moved the scope and moved it over a little bit. So let's see where these land. I'm going to zoom in on that. You can see I've got a bunch of targets down there set up for later on after I get this thing sighted in. But the target in the middle is the one I just shot, and I got pretty good grouping there. So now I'm going to go ahead and test these SK semi-auto rifle rounds and see how well they group on the top target. So here we go. Shooting to the right, looks like. Okay, those are shooting just to the right. Try those CCI standard velocity again, see where they're hitting. I may have moved the scope the wrong direction. looks like the little rifle's trying to group, but I just got to get everything set just right. Shooting for the top target again. Looks like it's grouping to the right. Okay. Go ahead and set that again. Okay, the top target is the one I'm going to be aiming at, so let's see where these CCIs land on that top target. I'm going to load up 5 real quick. All right, here we go. All right, I got to go down there and set the target back up, but they look like they're hitting just a little bit high. All right, folks, I got another target just to the right of the one I just shot at. So I'm going to go ahead and see how many I can get in that little 1/2 inch or whatever it is rifle dot there. This is at 40 yards using CCI standard velocity. All right, that's a pretty good little group there. It's close to a 1/2 inch group, 5 shots. Let's see, that was 5. Yeah, that was 5 shots. Let me put one more in there just to be sure. That went right in there with the rest of them. Well, I told you those little marlins were accurate. As you can see here, this was the last group that I shot. That's a 5-shot group there at 40 yards. And I can easily cover it with my thumbnail. And then this was the group that I shot just before. And this was the initial group that I shot, where I was shooting a little bit high, and I moved it down a few clicks. I shot another group here, and then I moved it down a few clicks, and I'm just about right on the money with standard velocity ammo. And I have no doubt that little gun right there will shoot 1/2 inch groups at 50 yards. You know, once I find the right ammo and everything, and I get the gun tuned in just the way I want it. Right now I haven't done anything but add the scope to it, just because I wanted to test the accuracy potential of this rifle. So anyway, now we're going to have a little fun. I've got some steel targets set up there at 50 yards, and I've got some water-filled cans here at 40 and then some at 60 yards. And we're going to shoot those with some hollow points. But we're going to shoot the steel targets with the CCI Blazer, or I may try the standard velocity. It seems to be right on the money. I know that the higher velocity ammunition is going to be shooting higher, so I'll have to hold a little bit low, but should still be pretty well on the money. Okay, what I've got are some swinging targets. I got 2 squirrels on top and a bunny rabbit there, and I've also got another little target there right between the squirrels. I'm going to try that one first. Let me go ahead and get loaded up here. I'll just shoot some standard velocity here. All right, here we go. Right now I'm going to be shooting at that little target right between the 2 squirrels. There's a hit. Okay, squirrel on the right. Squirrel on the left. Bunny rabbit. Swinging target in the middle. Swinging target on the right. And we're empty. And now for the root beer. Okay, I'm going to go from left to right. Shoot the orange one first. Well, the shock wave from hitting those other 2 knocked the other 2 down, so now I'm going to go ahead and try for the ones further out there. I'm going to go from right to left this time. Just nicked that one. I hit it, but it didn't blow it up. Okay, and we're empty. Well, folks, it's getting a little bit late now. It's starting to get a little darker. This is getting towards evening time. And I'm going to go ahead and close out this video, but I think you can agree with me that this is a good little shooter, and I think I've got a keeper here. I'm so glad that I brought this home and got a chance to shoot it this afternoon. That's what I'm going to title the video, is shooting the Glenfield Model 60 for the first time, because it's the first time I shot this little gun here. I've shot others like this many times in the past, but this particular gun here, I was really tickled to get it and bring it home, and I think I'm going to get it in the woods this fall and do a little squirrel hunting with it, and I'll be bringing you along with me. I think I'm also going to go ahead and refinish the stock and take care of some of these blemishes here and kind of give it a little facelift. Go back with a nice walnut finish, and I'll probably go ahead and do the upgrade since I have the parts available to me. And I don't know, I may decide to keep this scope on here. Who knows? I may decide to find another scope for it as well. But as you can tell, it's a fine little shooter. You know, it's got great accuracy potential, and most of these Marlins do. You know, if you're in the market and looking for one, I would suggest going out and checking your local pawn shops and flea markets, even yard sales, and some of the local gun stores that would have used guns. And you know, there's a good chance you'll run across one of them. It may not be this squirrel stock Glenfield, but then again, you might get lucky and find one. And incidentally, I didn't include one bit of information in the video. This squirrel stock Glenfield Model 60, they became available in 1966. That's when they started producing them. And they made them all the way up until 1982. I think it was the end of 1982, which incidentally, that's the year I graduated high school. So hopefully I didn't give away my age. But anyway, you know, they were available for a long time there, and you still see them occasionally, just like I did. I found this one, you know, at pawn shops and yard sales, flea markets, gun shows and gun stores that sell used guns, because I think possibly the Marlin Model 60 or the Glenfield is done. They haven't made these in a long time, and the Marlin Model 60 may actually be a thing of the past, because now that Ruger owns Marlin, I kind of doubt that they'll produce any more Model 60s. It's possible, but I'm not really sure. And whether or not they make one with a micro groove rifle barrel, you know, if they do decide to start making them, that's up in the air as well, as far as I know. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close out the video by saying, once again, thanks a lot for coming along. And remember, if you like to go hunting, fishing, camping, shooting, hiking, whatever it may be, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And also remember, hit that like button, smash that bell icon, and subscribe. That way you'll know when more videos like this one will be coming your way. So until next time, y'all get out there and enjoy the great outdoors. If you go shooting, make sure you do it safely, abide by all the shooting safety precautions, and just try to have a good time, folks. I'll see you next time.